Shalom. I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakodash, Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, meaning coming in the name, Ba means coming in, Ha means the, Sham means name, Rakah means spirit, Kodash means holy. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you sincere brothers that are scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity, and shalom to you sincere sisters that are listening in silence, as the scriptures command you to do so. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah, and pretty much this lesson is going to be titled as There Will Be a Government Shutdown, or There Could Be a Government Shutdown. Now, I just seen a post, video of Trump threatening to shut down the government. All right, and I go look up an article, and they're saying could be tomorrow at 12 a.m. that they could be a shutdown. Okay, and this shutdown, we do not know how long it's going to be. Now, in 2020, there was a shutdown, and that was for a long time. Okay, but there might be another shutdown by tomorrow. And if that occurs, then hey, we are headed into some time. So we're going to go into Jacob's trouble in this lesson. But first, I'm going to read the article that's talking about this shutdown. So, warning again to you Jakes out there that's been using this truth for entertainment purposes and not really gaining the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this ministry and sincerely learning this truth. You better get this truth now, because the way how it looks with this shutdown, we don't know how things is going to go. We don't know how things is going to go, okay? And the men of the Lord, the elders and brothers, been telling individuals or telling brothers for years to get this truth, get this knowledge, get this gospel, right? Don't treat it as entertainment, because anything can happen at this point, okay? We could be doing these videos and then, you can't, next day, you can't get on the internet, you can't get no access to the ministry, you can't get any of that. Then what are you going to do? So you Jakes out there, man, you better start getting with the program. Now, I'm going to read this article, right? And it says NBC News. It says live update. And anybody can go and read this. This was uploaded today. Anybody can go look this up. It says NBC News. It says live updates. Government heads towards a shutdown as Trump and Democrats trade blame. Right. And it says federal agencies will be to implement contingency plans if government funds lapses after 12 a.m. on Wednesday.
I told you we have $17 trillion being invested, so the last person that wants to shut down is us now. With that being said, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, that are bad for them and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like. And you all know Russell Vought. He's become very popular recently because he can trim the budget to a level that you couldn't do any other way. So they're taking a risk by having a shutdown because of the shutdown, we can do things medically and other ways, including benefits. We can cut large numbers of people out. We don't want to do that, but we don't want fraud, waste, and abuse.
Is a shutdown inevitable? And how would you describe the negotiations with Democrats yesterday? Are more meetings scheduled?
So nothing is inevitable, but I would say it's probably likely because they want to give health care to illegal immigrants, which will destroy health care for everybody else in our country. And I didn't see them bend even a little bit when I said we can't do that. Okay?
We start right now with breaking news from the White House. Just now, President Trump announcing a deal between Medicaid and pharmaceutical giant Pfizer to bring down drug prices, as well as a new website called Trump RX for Americans to buy medications. NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba joins us now. Monica, this news coming out just from the White House behind you. What do we know about the specifics with this Pfizer deal?
Well, Morgan, this is something that the White House and President Trump had been pushing for months. He signed an executive order earlier in the year, and he asked all of these drug makers to essentially see how they could lower prescription drug costs. And they had until September 29th, so yesterday, to respond to that. So we know this announcement with Pfizer that is currently being announced in the Oval Office is a pledge to lower some of those prescription drug costs. We don't know exactly which drugs are involved. They will likely...
Let's get back to the main point. I thought it would be some other stuff. It says what to know today. It says teetering in the brink. President Trump and Democratic leaders are blaming one another for the impasse on a funding deal to prevent a government shutdown after midnight tonight. Congress scrambles. The Senate is expected to vote on two funding bills that are expected to fail after Trump's meeting with the Senate Majority Leader John Thune, RSD, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, DNY House Speaker Mike Johnson, and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, DNY. Yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance said a shutdown was likely. Military meeting. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth delivered remarks to top military leaders in Quantico and Virginia this morning. Hegseth said that the department would crack down on physical standards for military members and re-examine its policies surrounding hazing and bullying. Trump's speech. Trump also spoke at length at the meeting and taunted his decision to deploy a National Guard to major U.S. cities. He said he hold Hegseth to use dangerous cities like Chicago as training grounds for our military. So there you go, man. There could be a shutdown tomorrow. Now we're going to get to the scriptures. Now this is why, again, we say you need to get this truth. Okay? Because we don't know what can happen. Anything can happen. Anytime, any moment, anything can happen. So if you've been taking this truth as entertainment, you better get out of that behavior and that type of attitude, because things is really about to get serious. And this shutdown, we don't know how long it can be. It could probably be years. We don't know. This is 2 Timothy 3:1. It says this know also that in the last days perilous time shall come. Let's get perilous. What's the meaning for perilous?
Perilous.
Full of danger or risk, right? Exposed to an imminent risk of disaster or ruin. You see that? It says this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Perilous times shall come. And that's the time we're headed into. Perilous times. Serious times, man. Perilous times. And these things is coming, man. There's going to be a shutdown. Trump is talking about shutting down. All right? Trump and the Democrats are blaming each other about the shutdown. They're trying to prevent it. They got until midnight tonight. And anybody can go look that article up. That's not edited. That's not false information. They're really planning on having a shutdown. So things is getting ready to turn up, man. We just pray that they do, Salakia, so we can Lord willing, get the hell out of here, man. Jeremiah 30:5, it says, "For thus saith the Lord," anytime you see Lord in caps, that's talking about the Heavenly Father, "we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, not of peace." We're in a time of fear. Look how bad the economy is. The economy is in trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. Trillions of dollars in debt. Housing is skyrocketing. Apartments is skyrocketing. How a 1 bedroom apartment is $15.97 a month? For a 1 bedroom, $15.97 a month. That's enough for a house. And you're paying that much for a 1 bedroom apartment. Things is getting out of control. The food prices is rising up. For one slab of steak, it's like $50, $60. Sometimes $112, depending on what store you're going to. Water, a pack of waters, I just looked the other day, went up to $5.99. It's no longer $3.99 anymore. It's $5.99. So we can see that there's an inflation. We can see that prices is rising. We can see that things is lapsing. Insurances is rising. Insurance is going from $150 to $397 a month. Some people paying $700, $800 for insurance, which is damn near as much as they damn car notes. So everybody is suffering in this place called America. Literally. We're suffering literally. You making $15 an hour and your fucking rent is $1,500 to $1,600. Your job can't even make that much with your job. If you getting paid $15 an hour, you only coming home with what? Barely 1,000, maybe 900, or maybe 1,000, 1,100, maybe. But taxes take a grip out of your check. Because out here, taxes is high off of your check. They take a lot off of your check. They take like, I think, $150, $160 off your check. Maybe $200. They take a guap out of your check. So you only left with $1,000. So where are you going to get the other $500 from? You're going to have to get another job to be able to fully provide shelter for yourself. This place is suffering. You're suffering, man. Right? So let's get back to this. Jeremiah 30:5. For thus saith the Lord, it says, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. We're not in a time of peace. I just named the things that we just said. We're in a time of fear, suffering, affliction. Right? Verse 6, it says, as ye know and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Right? And I always say what it means. Let's look it up.
Travail.
Painful or laborious effort. Right? That's what travail means. And a man doesn't travail. A woman travails with pain and suffering. Right? It said, right? It says painful or laborious effort. Right? When a woman is travailing with a baby, she goes through that. Pain and laborious effort. Right? It says, as ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his lawns, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, feeble and weak. Because this shutdown, we might not even get no stimulus checks. Like everybody think, well, a shutdown is always gonna be. Yeah, they're not doing stimulus checks no more. Biden already said that. There ain't gonna be no more stimulus checks. Now we know Trump is in there. But they ain't gonna do, how they gonna do stimulus checks with the funding being a big issue right now? America's in trillions of dollars in debt. The funding is horrible. So they're not gonna be able to do they ain't gonna be able to do no stimulus checks. And if you're without a job, right, you in a job with an office and they shut that down, you working at a social security building, a welfare building, right? You one of those people that help people get food stamps and Section 8 and all of these government benefits. They shut that down again. If you're a person that work at DMV, they shut that down again. Right? Anything with government gets shut down again. That's all of those things getting shut down again. Those people are gonna have it hard. They're not gonna be able to work, and they're not gonna get no checks. They're not gonna get no stimulus checks. So how they gonna get money? They file unemployment. That's still government shit. You might not even be able to get unemployment. Things is going to be very hard for people. They're going to be, you think 2020 you're going to be stressing out. This time you're going to be stressing out worse because you're not even going to be able to get no stimulus. They're not doing stimulus checks no more. So you going to be in that paleness, man. Verse 7, it says, Allah's for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. And that's the time that we're coming into is Jacob's trouble. There's no escaping Jacob's trouble. This is going to be a global thing. You can't go down south. Right? And you ain't going to be able to go up north if you're down south. This ain't gonna be no more wading in the water. Ain't gonna be no more of that. Ain't gonna be no underground railroads. Ain't gonna be none of that, because this is gonna be a global thing. You can go all the way over there and think you're gonna be in China. It's gonna be over there too. You cannot escape this. This is gonna be a global thing, right? The global economic collapse. This is gonna be a global thing. It says, but he shall be saved out of it. And the he that shall be saved out of it, that's talking about the elect. But they literally going to have to still go through Jacob trouble first before they can be saved. Because that's in the scriptures. That's in the scriptures, man. We got to go through Jacob trouble first before we can be saved. Daniel 12:1. It says, and at that time, Michael shall stand up. Right? Michael the archangel. You got Michael the archangel, you got Uriel, you got Raphael, and you got Gabriel. Now there's more archangels than that, but I'm just mentioning the four. Right? And it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, Michael the archangel, right? And it says, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, right? It says, and there shall be a time of trouble, Jacob trouble. So you literally gonna have to go through Jacob trouble before you can be saved, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And it says, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, talking about Israel, everyone shall be found written in the book. Right. So we got to go through Jacob trouble first before we can be saved. That's right here. It says, the great prince shall stand for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble. So when it says, and there shall be a time of trouble, that's talking about Jacob trouble. We literally going to have to go through Jacob trouble first before we can be saved. So we're going to have to go through that. So this is why I'm saying, you Jakes out there that's treating this place as treating this truth as entertainment, Salagia, you're gonna be a mess up individual, because you had time to get this truth. You better take it seriously. You better take this seriously. Let's get out that Zechariah 14:1. It says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh with thy spoil shall be divided into the midst of thee. Verse 2, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. Right? And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall be cut off from the city. This is talking about Jacob trouble. So we literally going to have to go through Jacob trouble. This is talking about Jacob trouble here. Right? It says, then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. When you read verse 2, that's talking about Jacob trouble. That's what that's talking about. There's going to be trouble, Jacob's trouble, right? And Jacob's trouble is not just going to be on the heathen nations. It's going to be on Israel. That's why it's called Jacob trouble, right? And we're not already in Jacob trouble either, because Jacob trouble is not here yet. Now it's coming, but it ain't here yet. Because if we was already in Jacob trouble, I wouldn't be doing no lesson. No brothers or no elders wouldn't be on no highways and edges preaching the gospel and doing live lessons. They wouldn't be doing lives. Wouldn't be doing no lesson right now. Brothers wouldn't be doing lessons. Brothers wouldn't be going down to camp. They wouldn't be doing that if we were already in Jacob trouble. And we're not going to be saved before Jacob trouble either. We literally got to go through Jacob trouble first. So this is what is coming. This is what is coming. These are the times that are coming. 2nd Esdras 16:70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Verse 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Verse 72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. This is going into Jacob trouble. That's that civil unrest. That's that damn sedition, which you read in 2nd Esdras 15. Talks about the sedition, which sedition means revolt, rebel against. It's gonna be mayhem. People gonna take matters into their own hands. That's the times that we're coming into, right? 73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, right? Because that's gonna be known in that time. And this is why it's scary, because you're going to have a lot of brothers that's been in this truth. They've been doing videos, doing lessons, calling upon the name of the Lord. They've been doing all of these things. This is why I say they've been doing all of these things. And in those times, some of the brothers in the truth is going to lose the faith. They're going to give up, and they're going to bow down to the system, and they're going to take that chip. You're going to have betrayal going on. You're going to have a lot of Judas Iscariots. The elders have been talking about this for years. There's going to be a lot of Judas Iscariots in the time of Jacob trouble. A lot of brothers that brothers thought were brothers, and they weren't brothers, because they lost the faith and they gave into Esau's beast system. And I pray that I'm not that individual or any brother in this truth isn't, but you're going to have that. There's going to be a lot of Judas Iscariot. There's going to be a lot of betrayal. There's going to be a lot of that going on, right? It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen. It's going to be known, right? And it says, and they shall be tried as gold in a fire. Because you go, each brother, this is why Elder Apostle Barnes said what he said a while back. He said this a while back. He says, in Jacob trouble, there isn't going to be no brother to go to. There ain't going to be no brother you going to call up and ask and speak with him to speak with, to get guidance, right? To be able to for him to lift you up, to keep you pushing. You're going to have the faith on your own to do that. That's the time that it's coming into. It's going to be no calling brothers and, hey, brother, I'm going through this. And, man, I just need to call you for some prayers. You ain't going to be able to do that in Jacob trouble. You're literally going to have the faith to endure through your own trials and the tribulations and afflictions. Ain't no brother in the truth going to be able to help you in Jacob trouble. You're literally going to be on your own. Literally. Brothers going to be going through their own situations, and it's going to be every brother for itself. It's going to be like that. All the brothers in truth is not going to be together in Jacob trouble. Now, we don't know. They probably could be taken to the same concentration camp, right? You might run into a concentration camp with it, but you might be put in the same same concentration camp as the brother, but you're not going to be dwelling on earth together and y'all trying to figure it out. Maybe that might happen, but that's not a guarantee. You literally going to have to go through Jacob trouble on your own. And what's going to make it scary is the woman that you love and you've been with for the past 10 years might take that damn chip and have your kids take that damn chip. Now, what are you going to do about it? What is it you're going to do? This is what is coming. So you people that's in this truth, you jakes, that's been using the truth for entertainment, you've been commenting on the comment boards, double honors, elders, and you ain't been doing no works. You just been speaking your mind and posting scriptures here and there on their lives, not doing no lessons, not doing no works, not working on yourself. You're going to be a fucked up individual in that time. You're going to be fucked up because you treated this truth as entertainment. And brothers been telling you for a while, do works, do lessons, go out to camp, do the works. And you know, they go on your channel, you ain't got nothing. You do this like that, you're going to be in a fucked up situation because you didn't take this truth seriously, right? It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Jacob trouble, you're going to be tried on your faith. You're literally going to be tried on your faith, man. It ain't going to be no brother to run to for comfort. You literally going to have to endure through that on your own. Verse 74, it says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand. And that's the time that we're coming into, right? The day of trouble is at hand. We're coming into the times of Jacob trouble. Jacob trouble is coming. And every single brother that's been showing their face on camera, they've been giving praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. They've been giving double honors. They've been following and doing the work and doing the ministry and doing all of those things. Jacob trouble is going to come. And each and every one of us individually is going to be put in different trials, different situations, and put in very dangerous and affliction conditions. And you're going to have the faith to endure through that. That's going to be worse. If we think temptation is vexing, Jacob trouble is going to be an all-out trial. You're going to be tried. You're going to be tried on what, though? Your faith. The Lord can have you. You could go a whole month without eating or having any food or any shelter for a whole month. You don't fucking know. You're going to be tried on that. This is the times that we're coming into. But I will deliver you from the same. So we know that the Lord is going to be there, right? The scriptures say, Revelation 3, right? The trials and tribulations is going to, the hour of temptation, right? Revelation 3 talks about the trials and tribulations, right? I would keep thee from the hour of temptation. Thou kept the word of my patience. Roughly paraphrasing, right? 2nd Esdras 16:75. It says, "Be ye not afraid, neither doubt." See, and you're gonna have to do that. But how you not gonna be afraid, neither doubt? Because you're gonna have what? Faith. A brother with a lot of faith can get through anything. A brother that doesn't have a lot of faith isn't gonna fucking make it. You gotta have a lot of faith. If you could be able to, I'm just giving an example. If you could be able to go out to the highways and edges on your own and be able to preach and teach the gospel, that shows that you got great faith. It don't matter if your boss see you or none of that. You just a brother that just go out there and teach. It proves and shows that you got great faith. That takes a lot of faith to do that. Not every brother can do that. Not every brother can do that. right? So when it comes to Jacob trouble, you're going to have a lot of faith to be able to endure through that. A lot of brothers isn't going to be able to endure through that. They're going to lose their faith and they're going to bow down to the system. I pray that none of us do that though. But that is going to happen. There's going to be a lot of Judas Iscariot. There's going to be a lot of individuals that you thought was a brother, and the whole time they fucking lost their faith and gave into the beast system. That's going to happen. I pray that doesn't happen to any one of us. I pray that doesn't happen to me. I mainly pray that doesn't happen to me. Right? Because, yeah, I'm speaking this shit, but that shit can happen to any one of us. I pray that I'm not that individual, though. 2nd Esdras 16:75. It says, be ye not afraid, neither doubt. That's what that's going into. Faith. You're going to have a lot of faith. You're going to be tried on your faith. It says, for the Most High is your guide, but you got to have faith. You literally got to be fully persuaded in your mind to know that the Lord is going to be there. The Lord is going to guide you. The Lord is going to keep you there. You're going to have the faith. And if you're not fully persuaded in your mind, you're going to fall out. That's going to happen. That is literally going to happen, man. So this is why faith is such an important thing, and we got to build up on that. Romans 13:11. It says, and that knowing the time that now it is high time to wake up out of sleep, spiritual sleep, right? Our people still walking around on the earth. They're up physically. You know, they going to the gym. They doing all these other things. They working. They chilling. They kicking back. They doing all of that, right? But they are people spiritually asleep. They're up physically, but they got the spirit of slumber. They're not focused on the ministry. They're not focused on the gospel. They're not trying to get to know the names of the Lord, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. They're not focused in the ministry, applying these scriptures in their daily lives. They're not focused on any of that. They focus on money, cars, clothes, and hoes. How many bitches they flipping. How many women that they popping. That's what they focus on. They're not focused on anything else. That's the mindset. Our people are asleep. These women are out here being harlots. They're being harlots and demons and money chasers and gold diggers. They're not focused on the Lord, right? And it says that now it is a high time to wake up out of sleep. It's high time to wake up out of those childish acts for you Israelite men and women. And if you don't, you're going to be destroyed. Because the scriptures say, 2 Chronicles 15:13, that whosoever does not seek the Lord power of Israel should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. So if you don't seek the Lord when you have the time, you're going to be a fucked up individual because you're not going to be able to seek the Lord. And then you're going to be destroyed. It says, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. Our salvation is near. The Lord is going to come and He's going to beam up the elect. And we're fighting for that in this ministry to be of that number. That's why the scriptures say, Philippians 2:12, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. With fear and trembling, right? It says, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. You see that? Our salvation is near. So we're working out that salvation to receive that salvation. Because if you don't put the works in for that, you're not getting delivered. You're getting destroyed. That's what's going to happen. And with all of these global economic collapses that's coming and all of these things, that's why Esau is coming in like a flood, man. He's coming in with his wrath. Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And that's these Edomites. They know that they have but a short time. And this is why they're doing these government shutdowns. They plan on doing a shutdown because they're getting ready to come in with a new world order, which is that MOTB, which is the marketed beast, which is that RFID chip implant. They're coming with that shit. And when they come with that, it's a whole totally different ballgame. There's nothing nobody can do about that. This is all we got is the Lord through all of this at the end of the day. Right? Esau is coming with a flood, man. Right? And it says, Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red. Who's red? Esau Edom. He's that red horse. And power was given unto him, right, that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And that's what Esau did. He's taking peace from the earth. And he's doing that now. He's taking peace from the earth. We're all of us Israelites are suffering every goddamn day. Bills, triple jobs, right? We're suffering every day, mentally, physically, and spiritually. We're drained. We're tired. Brothers is pulling 56 hours, right? 56 hours in 1 week, working another 56 hours, working 120 hours, 26 hours. There's dudes right now I know that are Jakes that are working 126 hours. I fucking worked 96 hours not too long ago. That shit is tiring. 96 hours, 112 hours, that's tiring. That means you're not getting no days off. You're always fucking working. We're suffering. Walking so many miles, walking 10 to 20 miles, doing patrols and tours all damn day. Riding DARs, doing a lot, just giving examples. Doing a lot. Unlocking 600, going up to the 7th and 8th floor, locking and unlocking 600 doors. You got brothers doing shit like that. That's the type of shit I do at work. Go 6 floors, locking 400 to 500 doors every goddamn day, plus riding a fucking DAR, plus unlocking all these gates. I walk probably 12 to 15 miles because I got to get 82 scans. I got to do 3 patrols, 82 scans. You add up 82, that's 246 scans every goddamn day. And working 96 hours. You know how tiring that is? So I'm just giving examples. We're all suffering in this fucking society. Plus deal with mental attack and all of these other things. Plus come to the truth, get attacked on there, and deal with all this other shit. So what other peace can we get? The scriptures. Prayer to the Lord, the scriptures. That's all we got. Right? It says, take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. That's Esau Edom. Right? He's taking peace from the earth. He's draining us, man. He's working us to the bone. Having us to work all of these hours, killing us. Right? Ecclesiastes 3:8, a time to love, right? A time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're in a time of war. We're in a time of perilous times. We're in a time of war. We're not in a time of love, right? And we're damn sure not in a time of peace. We're in a time of hate and a time of war. That's the times that we're in right now. We're in those perilous times, man, as the scriptures mention. 2 Esdras 15:14. Woe unto the world and to them that dwell therein. Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hand. See, this is going into the sedition. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, right? And when you go into sedition, what is that? Sedition. The conduct or speech of inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Rebel, not follow order. Right? Esau comes with his MOTB. Everybody's not going to take that. That's going to be that sedition. Government shutdown. Remember, the first shutdown happened in 2020. That had a lot of people going into the spirit of sedition. There were so many protests going on. You had all that shit going on in 2020. Now, if they come with another shutdown, you're not able to get no more. You ain't able to get no unemployment. You ain't able to get no stimulus checks. Your job just laid you off permanently, especially if you're working in those government offices. You're going to be without work for a while. That is going to cause sedition. That's going to cause sedition. It's going to cause uproars and violence. Right? It says, for there shall be sedition among men. Everybody's not going to comply to Esau's system, beast system. It says, in invading one another, they shall not regard the kings nor princes in the course of their actions. Right? The course of their action shall stand in their power. Right? People going to rebel. They're not going to follow their order. Right? And that's when what? What's going to happen? That's when martial law is going to come. Because people going to rebel. And they ain't going to be able to. That's why Trump got the National Guards out now. He got National Guards already out. But they're going to wind up evolving into the permanently the military. And they're going to take the police off the streets. 2 Esdras 15:17. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. A man shall go into the city and shall be able. Right? That's going into what? Martial law. Right? Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Jacob's trouble. That's Jacob's trouble. The city shall be troubled. You know how much stuff going to be going on? Killing, raping, robbing. All that. The Book of Eli. Bushwick. The Purge. That shit going to be going on. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Right? The houses shall be destroyed. That's what's going to be That's what's going to be going on in the cities. Right? And men shall be afraid because the things that they're going to be seeing. People, you're going to literally be looking out. Just think about it. You're going to be outside. You're going to be seeing people literally getting shot, killed. You're going to be seeing women getting raped. Literally. And this is why we tell you women out there that you need a man. Because when Jacob trouble come, there's no calling no police. What are you going to do? There ain't going to be no police to call. 911 going to go out of business in Jacob trouble. There isn't going to be no police to call. So who's gonna be able to protect you and your kids? Your baby daddy, you already ran off. You already cut him off and all that. He not gonna fucking deal with your ass. He not. Now he'll probably come to deal with his fucking deal with his kids, right? To maybe protect his kids, but he ain't gonna give a fuck about your ass. You're gonna be asked out. You're gonna be asked out. You're gonna be the one that's in that travailing, in that anguish and distress. You're gonna want to be under him, and he ain't gonna want to fucking deal with you. He gonna deal with his kids. He ain't gonna want to deal with your fucking ass. He not. So you women out there, you better get a man, because the times that we're coming into, you gonna need a man to protect you, because without a man, you're not gonna be able to, if you a woman that's 5'5", and you weigh, I'll say, 170 pounds, how are you gonna be able to defend yourself against a dude that's weighing 225, 265 pounds, 6 foot, solid fucking muscle, or over bigger than you? What are you gonna do? You can't call 911. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be able to do shit. That man gonna rape you, and if it's multiple men, they gonna take turns raping you. You gonna need a man to protect. And I hate to sound gruesome in this video, but you're gonna need a man to protect you in that time. There's no ifs or ands or buts about that. So you women, you Negro women mainly, that think you can do everything on your own, all that's gonna go away when Jacob Trouble comes. All that's gonna go away. But guess what? Us men ain't gonna deal with you. I've been single for 4 years. It's fucking great. A relationship with a woman is a huge responsibility, and I don't need that shit. I got enough stuff I'm dealing with. I don't need that shit. Us brothers that's single, we feel great. We're at peace. And we got our own place and our own shit. Me, I got my own shit. So I don't give a fuck about a woman. I'm focused on Yahweh Shema Shai. So I don't have no fucking problems. Now the rest of these jakes, they got all these fucking problems with these fucking women. It's a fucking issue, man. Excuse my French. It's like it for cussing so much, but it's a problem. And Jacob, that's why I'm using that as a woman. It says men shall be afraid. Women gonna be even more terrified than men, because women are the weaker vessel. A woman can crack under pressure than a man can. That's facts. You take away a woman's stability of income, she's gonna fucking bug out. Now a man, you take away his funding of income, which that happens all the time, we gonna find ways to make it. Now we gonna be stressed out for the moment, but we gonna find ways to make it. But you women, y'all income get taken from y'all bugging out. Y'all gonna bug out. Y'all gonna bug out. Y'all gonna definitely fucking bug out. Because you're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna bug out. Right? And it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but he shall destroy their houses with the sword, right? And spoil their goods, robbing you, taking everything you got. Every man for themselves. And this is why Elder Apostle Bar was saying, you gotta build up in the faith. Right? Because again, when Jacob Trouble comes, this is what the Apostle Gabar said out of his own mouth. He said that earlier this year. If not earlier this year, in the ending of last year. I think it was in the ending of last year, earlier this year. He said, ain't going to be no brothers to go to in the time of Jacob Trouble. Not with all this shit going on. Ain't going to be no brothers to go to. Them brothers is going to be dealing with their own situations. You're going to have the faith to be able to endure through your own trials and tribulations that the Lord present for you. Because the Lord going to try each and every one of us, all of us, even me. It says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Because of all of the things that's going to be going on. Ain't going to be no food, no water, right? You ain't going to be able to work, right? You're not going to have a job. We might be homeless. You don't know. You might be homeless. All of these things are going to happen, man. Verse 20 says, behold, saith the Most High, right? And actually, I'll skip down because I want to get to the main point. I'll skip down to verse 22. 2nd Esdras 15:22. It says, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. Verse 23. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Verse 24, woe to them, warning or destruction, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. I will not spare them. Go your way. It says, go your way, ye children, from the power, and defile not my sanctuary. So there you go. Jacob Trouble is on his way. All right. A global economic collapse could happen. Right. And with that shutdown, we don't know what Esau might come with. Esau might come with his new world order. He might come in. He might have shutdown. He might have this. This might be shutdown. Right. Let's say this shutdown happens. And then the next 6 months, he resets the system and bring in the MOTB. That could happen. Because there already is a huge finance situation going on. They might have this shutdown right now and already reset everything and say, hey, this is the new currency. Every person must get this. What you gonna do? You ain't gonna be able to do nothing, man. So wait, man, I just had to do a lesson on this, man. The government heads towards a shutdown as Trump and Democrats trade blame. So there might be a shutdown. And it says federal agencies will begin to implement the contingency plans if government funding lapses after 12:01 a.m. on Wednesday. There might be a shutdown tomorrow. A shutdown tonight. So all we can do is see. So wait, Lord Wellness Lessons edifying, man. On to the next one. Shalom.